These days, when I leave the house to take some fresh air in the morning, I feel the cold breeze, get chills all on my back, and I realize that winter is coming.
And winter is coming.
What were you guys up to last winter? And what comes up to your mind when you think of winter? 1 year ago, I was in the military serving the army in the freezing cold weather, counting down the days to be discharged, which means it was miserable AF. But I wish you all spent a memorable and a warm end of year with the ones you love or the ones you pretended to love. Anyway, winter seems to be a season that reminds people of their loved ones, dates, Christmas, or winter wonderland, if you live in London. Winter's quite special for me too. Last year, I spent Christmas with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my ex-girlfriend, but now I'm with my new girlfriend. Yeah. So if you want to know my techniques, DM me on my Instagram. Just kidding. But you can still email me. This is Northern Radio with DJ Eric, and today's theme is love. And all the stories will be read by Garim. Whatever you're doing right now, there's no need to stop, just carry on what you're doing and chill as the radio goes on. Before we begin, let me bring you my favorite quote from the movie Love Actually. It seems to me that love is everywhere. Often, it's not particularly dignified or newsworthy, but it's always there. Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, old friends. When the planes hit the Twin Towers, as far as I know, none of the phone calls from the people on board were messages of the hate or revenge. They were all messages of love. If you look for it, I've got a sneaking feeling you'll find that love actually is all around. There's a million ways you could start dating someone. Maybe you were friends from way back, and you suddenly got feelings for each other. Or your high school crush chose to go out with you, as if you were like a Pokemon. Or maybe your best friend introduced you to someone they knew. Or maybe you could have cheated on your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Today, even as we speak, some of us are loving, and some of us are coming to the end of their relationship. Some of us actually may not be in a relationship. Of course, some singles, including most of my friends, insist that they've chosen to stay single, but we all know it's BS. Anyway, we have a few stories that have been sent in by some of our listeners. These stories may speak for some of you and your experiences of love and relationship. Have you ever had a one-way crush on someone? If you have, you will know better than anyone how difficult it is to gather up courage and make the first move, worrying that you could be refused by someone you confess to. Funnily enough, our first story today is not about someone you bravely confessed to their first crush, but about someone who made that brave rejection. This story is from username Oreo Pops.
I recently received a confession by a younger guy in my church. I've known him since we were really young, and I'm super close with his older sister and know his whole family. I said sorry and that I couldn't return his feelings because he seems like a younger brother to me, and also it seemed too serious to have to get in a relationship with him. Fortunately, we have not had to have many awkward interactions since then because of Corona and online services, but I am worried for when we return. Also, for my relationship with his older sister. I believe she knew and dropped many hints for me to pick up, and I feel so bad for kind of letting her down as she's very tight with her brother. I should probably act like nothing happened and not bring it up, right? Or do I need to talk about this with her because she's my friend too?
Thank you all your Pops for your story. Before starting to talk about your question, is he handsome? I feel a little sorry for your young man who had the heart of a lion to confess his love to a girl he likes. So let me ask you one more question to confirm. Are you still confident with the answer you have given him? Because quite often when we get a confession, we start to rethink deeply about them and perhaps even start growing feelings for them. But if not, well done for being brave, and let's answer your question. Reading your story, I can kind of relate to your friend because I have also a younger brother myself who has honorably been a motel solo, which means that he has never a girlfriend before. Even if my younger brother had liked a friend of mine, and no matter how much I supported his love, I would be disappointed to find out that he was rejected by her, but c'est la vie and life goes on. By the way, is anyone interested in meeting my brother? Email me. He's a really nice guy. Anyone? Oreo Pops? So here's my thoughts. To be honest, I would expect a friend to contact you first about it, but if that's not the case, I think it will be completely fine for you to reach out to her first. If she says, "How dare a person like you reject my beloved brother," then you should rethink your friendship with her. But I just want to tell you that you really should not worry and you do nothing wrong. Okay, let's play our first song for today's theme of love before we continue with another story. It's a song called Chase by artist Yoon. The song is about chasing a girl and the emotions involved in falling for someone. It depicts the struggles of human relationship and ends with a failure. The song is for the young man with the heart of lion that we just have talked about.
I wonder if you are the one for me forever. You give me closure, and I give it back 2 times extra. I see the future between us, I can't even lie. One night stand is not what I need. Kinda down with the girls I play with feelings of these lost souls, yeah. Okay, my ex-house be sending her ex-house to me on an iPhone. You know them texts be hello. She says she wanna go, but oh no, because there's only one girl that I chase, and her name goes by. But I don't know, none try more to get so. Is it love that far from this side? This beat or die? You say call me whenever you need me, but when I call you never pick up, pick up, pick up. Okay, my ex-house be sending her ex-house to me on an iPhone. You know them texts be hello. She says she wanna go, but oh no, because there's only one girl that I chase, and her name goes by. No, this ain't a curse, this our universe. Few times we felt a bliss, when our dreams could ever miss. Let's go again. Yeah, love you too quick, now I'm about to lose you. Could catch up with these 2 shoes, but your heart has resigned. You got bruises on your knee and your mind. Every time a different excuse, furthermore we unwind. Fuck it, I'm about to go snooze.
Oh, thank you, Yoon for the wonderful piece. We're now going to straight into the second story sent to us by username Shrimp. Your username kind of reminds me of my favorite dish, Gambas. Now let's begin.
The reason why I'm sending this story is simple. I want to cherish the thoughts, memories, and feelings that I have right now by putting it into words. And for the many out there who are in love, and for the lovers, I want to give a message of consolation and positivity. I was in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend for almost a year. We couldn't even meet once every few months, and it wasn't like we could call each other every other day. This was a real, proper long distance. Without knowing when we would see each other next, my boyfriend left to the other side of the globe. And I had recently started working, so the only free time I had was weekends. We video called for 1 hour once or twice on the weekends. If the internet connection was bad or if he was busy, a lot of the time I couldn't even hear his voice for more than 2 weeks. Sometimes during these rare times that we called, we thought about whether this was a relationship that could realistically keep going. We talked quite seriously about our future, even though we had barely any time to even share how each of our weeks had been. I sometimes cried because it seemed that this relationship was realistically going to be impossible. So 1 year passed, and surprisingly, we never had any big arguments. We just kept dating quite calmly and consistently. But just when I was getting a bit tired of our long distance relationship, which looked like it was going to be extended because of COVID, completely unexpectedly and miraculously, my boyfriend came back in the beginning of October. And thanks to my boyfriend, I'm now the happiest I've ever been, and I'm spending every day, thankfully, with comfort and rest. I had to think about how I managed to maintain this long distance relationship. They say that communication, faith, and honesty are all essential in long distance. Yes, they're all important, but I think the most important reason I was able to maintain my relationship was patience. The patience to not let go even if I feel like I want to just be realistic and give up. I don't know about anything else, but I think we both really tried our hardest to protect this relationship and didn't give up so that we don't regret our decisions later. In today's society, I think it's getting harder to have patience with relationships. I think COVID in particular is making us lose our patience when it comes to lovers, families, and friends who we miss. Let's have patience and keep trying for the people we love. Instead of a relationship where you love and you're always happy, I think you can have a stronger, more rewarding relationship by having patience and protecting the other person through the toughest times. To all lovers, families, and friends, why don't we think again about how precious each other are? Let's be thankful for each other and have the patience to protect our relationships. I'm rooting for all of you. Let's love more while we still can.
Whoa, what a story. Long distance isn't really tough, right? I've also experienced long distance, and people around me seem to be starting long distance as well, for different reasons like COVID or getting a job after graduating. And it feels like more and more couples are breaking up because of long distance. When we were just young, innocent and freshers, we would be quite close and intimate as thoughts of our relationships. And even the simple fact that you liked each other was enough to keep a relationship going. But as time goes on and we each move on to different chapters of our lives, we start to realize that just liking each other isn't enough. And other problems start to come up. Through long distance relationships, I've seen couples struggle with so many things like seeing a side to your partners that you've never seen before, or feeling uncertainty in the future relationship. I personally believe in fate, so I always think I will miss that person who I'm supposed to meet and break up with those who I'm supposed to break up with. You know what I mean? I know I haven't lived long enough to say this, but I think there's someone out there who is just meant to be. For the person who wrote this, Shrimp, I think your boyfriend coming back almost miraculously is a demonstration of this. COVID and long distance were just temporary hurdles, and I think getting over these obstacles it's strengthened your relationship more than anything else. Even though you had no idea when you would next see your boyfriend, you had faith in each other and focused on your personal lives without letting the stress from the relationship overwhelm you. Congratulations on reunion. I hope you stay close together in the future and continue to stay strong. Let's have a listen now to our second song. This song is a cover song by artist Jiyeon Lee of Billie Eilish, I Love You, and drop the beat.
It's not true. Tell me I've been lied to. Crying isn't like you. What the hell did I do? Never been the type to let someone see right through it. Baby, won't you take it back? Say you were trying to make me laugh, and nothing has to change today. You didn't mean to say I love you. I love you, and I don't want to. Up all night, all another red eye. I wish we never learned to fly high. Maybe we should just try to tell ourselves a goodnight. I didn't mean to make you cry. Baby, won't you take it back? Say you were trying to make me laugh, and nothing has to change today. You didn't mean to say I love you. I love you, and I don't want to. The smile that you gave me, even when you felt like dying. We fall apart as it gets dark. I'm in your arms in Central Park. There's nothing you could do or say. I can't escape the way I love you, and I don't want to, but I love you.
Thank you, Jiyeon, for your lovely song. It was actually really good. Okay, let's move on. A few days ago, I came across an Instagram post of people enjoying live concerts, having crazy parties, shouting at each other on a football stadium before the COVID pandemic. How are you guys managing your life during this COVID chaos? COVID is definitely making it harder for people in relationships to be together and for single people to find love during lockdown. But on the good side, there have been some upsides of the strict regulations. Let's read our next story from username G.
It's been a bit over a month now with my current boyfriend. It's crazy to think how I even managed to get into a relationship in the midst of the corona chaos. We got to know each other through a friend, who I got to know through Nobodam actually. In July, met a couple of times, just the two of us, and we gradually began to click as friends. Similar sense of humour, similar taste in music, and similar values. Every time we met up, we ended up chatting for almost 6 to 7 hours without alcohol. After the pandemic got worse in London, we had to meet indoors. So I cooked for him and he cooked for me, but we were still just friends. I started to get a bit confused and got curious of his feelings towards me, so I confronted him to tell me what his thoughts were, and we began dating. Now, thanks to lockdown, he's living with me in my flat. Although it's only been a month, it feels like we've been together for 5 years. We're always laughing around together, and the best part is that I really get to be myself around him. He's the one thing that I'm thankful for lockdown. Thanks, E. See you real soon.
This is an interesting story. How do you draw a line between just a friend and a friend that you have feelings for? Often, when you have a thing between someone, people around you say things like, "Oh, look at you two. You two have a thing, don't you?" And you just give them an excuse like, "Nah, come on dude. What are you talking about? We're just friends." But is what you're saying really true? You people will end up kissing each other in a few days' time anyway. In fact, even after you properly start dating that friend you kept insisting was just a friend, you end up saying things like, I've never thought of you as more than just a friend. Or, damn, I've never imagined we'd end up dating. Or, let's be honest, you knew that I had no feelings for you, etc., etc. Did you really not know? Or was it just you who didn't know? Yep, everyone knew except for you. Well, Jay, I'm glad you will be able to find love during lockdown, and like I've said before, there is someone out there who's just meant to be despite what's happening in the world. Like the saying in Korea, people gave birth during wartime, nothing can stop love. I'm surprised to find out that you guys are getting along well, living in the same flat, where sometimes it could be a bit difficult when you don't get to have your personal spaces. I'm happy for you that you can really be yourself in front of your boyfriend. I hope you'll be able to cherish all these moments as precious memories when you look back at it later in the future. And now it's time to listen to our last story from username Violet.
Hi guys, I am a sometimes timid, sometimes vibrant Asian girl studying design in London, going by Violet. I wanted to share a heart-fluttering story that happened to me around 2 years ago. I had an opportunity to go volunteering 2 years ago in Argentina. I didn't know what I was doing and just wanted to experience new things because I was in the first year of uni. I wasn't expecting anything, but I met someone there. He was on stage playing the guitar with the welcome band. Somehow we got introduced through mutual friends and started talking. He wasn't volunteering with us, so I couldn't spend time with him during the day, but he would come in the evening to join everyone for dinner. We were given a day off from volunteering, so we could go sightseeing, and he was free, so he joined our team. We spent the whole day together walking in the streets of Buenos Aires, getting on tour buses, watching tango, and eating good food. That evening, he told me that he hoped we could continue this relationship even when I go back to London. So we kept in contact for a few months, FaceTimed and called, but eventually the long distance got very difficult and I told him I couldn't continue. I was heartbroken for a while, but slowly got better. And strangely, we got back in contact during lockdown. I'm sure my feelings have passed now, but when we message each other, the fluttering memories do come back. I feel like we can be friends now, but do you think this is possible? To be friends with someone you once had feelings for? And should I continue talking to him? Because it seems like it's doing us no harm.
Thank you, Violet, for your story. An Asian lady from London meeting a boy all the way in Argentina. We are going very global here. So, is he handsome? What does he study? How ambitious is he about his career path? We are not 13 anymore. We need to be thinking about his future as well. There is a very simple solution to this problem. You can casually buy another house in Argentina if your bank account is well loaded, or maybe start a PhD course in Argentina. I know. Let's get into the real solution though. To answer your question straight away, of course it's possible to be friends with someone who you once had feelings for, but are you ready for the consequences? To be honest, it's going to be difficult to try and stay completely neutral with the guy with no feelings whatsoever. If you seriously want to stay as just friends, I think you need to make an effort to really take out any feelings from it. Otherwise, you will definitely have a hard time and your friendship with him will confuse you, which could lead to future misunderstandings. Plus, let's be honest, you were only with him for a very short period of time in Argentina. A short period of time is not enough to get to know a person. I'm sure he was kind, funny, cute, and all of the above, but this could just be a made-up imagination of yours. Aside from how often you guys are going to be contacting each other, you should also consider how much you know about this person and whether it's an infatuation. I think it will also depend on how often you're going to see him in the future. For example, if it was someone in your university or friendship circle or workplace, you see them a lot, so it may still be worth being friends. But because that isn't the case with you, maybe you should take some time off messaging him and objectively think about the situation and the realistic potential of starting a relationship. As we've seen throughout the stories, love is actually around in all different shapes and forms. Sometimes love is overlooked and taken for granted, but during our current uncertain times with COVID, I think it's a great opportunity for us to bring back and spread love. Think about the faces of those we love. Your parents, siblings, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, and old friends. Why don't you take the opportunity to reach out and tell them how much you love them? We've come to the end of our talk today. I tried to make a little casual. How did you guys find it? What's that? You had a great time and you fell in love with the DJ? Well, thank you so much. And email me if you need to. Love is quite a tough and difficult topic. It's still a puzzle for me, and I'm sure I'll feel this way about love even when I become old and wrinkly. Whoever you are with right now, or whoever you were with, or whoever you will be with, and all of the moments you shared with them are precious traces of love, and they have all shaped you to be who you are today. Feel blessed to be able to feel all the emotions that arise in a relationship. For this Christmas, I wish that each and every one of you will be spending time with your loved ones, even if they are not your significant others. Thank you to everyone who sent us stories and songs, and thank you Garim for delivering all the stories. If you enjoyed Nobudum Radio today, please make sure to check out our other themes on the Nobudum website. Our closing song is called Bucket List by artist Yoon. This song is about bucket list made for a girl and focuses on the big and little things that a person wanted to do in a relationship. Before I disappear, I want to close this radio with a phrase from a very famous person that I truly love. 불타는 불꽃보다 따뜻한 난로처럼 사랑하라. Love like a radiator warming up a room, rather than blazing firework that flashes light. Yeah, it's from my mom. Oh, wait. If you enjoy this radio, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave the comments below. I promise I will reply to comments as long as the Nobudum team pays me. It's been your host Eric, and thank you so much. 감사합니다. DJ Eric out. Peace.
I never wanna go back to my old lifestyle. At the backseat of your car, we watched the sunrise. Your neck kisses got me into your deep. No more drugs and taking pills. I don't have time for that. She makes me happy. I don't have time for them Instagram baddies. She original. Ain't no flex like us, we are together. Since we talked, never thought I'd be here. Now we're here. We made a bucket list for you and I. No one's made a song for you, so I'll be the first one to spin you round and let's go far away. Make dumplings together, go to planetary and flower arrangement classes. Hot air balloon ride, make a wish in a wishing well. Go to a different country, touchstone head, get a beach and poodle puppy. Cliff diving, volunteer for something. Hiking, fishing, make a bus, horse riding, cat and dog cafe. Out on the Paris Fashion Week, folk in the climate, yeah, and many more. We made a bucket list for you and I. No one's made a song for you, so I'll be the first one to spin you round and let's go far away. Cause I'm so blessed to have you in my life. If I can go back, 너무 바라본 날 다른 여자는 어때? She's in your life and you decided I can come back.